Go live here. Right, I'm going to wait till anybody shows up. I'm here in the penthouse suite and I think I've just gone live, but at the moment there doesn't seem to be anyone listening. So is there anyone there? Anyone there? No one there. Okay, I'll wait for another couple of minutes. I'm just experimenting with this live stream New Year's Eve. So unfortunately the writing's a little bit small. So let me just see. Yo, how you doing? Yes, I'm just here in the penthouse suite on New Year's Eve with my iPhone, just trying a bit of an experimentation. And so I hope you're all doing well. If this live stream doesn't work, the great thing about live streams is that you can actually delete them. So you can just get the smartphone and sort of turn it off. So anyway, I'm just trying to get the hang of this because the comments are coming up here. I haven't done one. This is a kind of selfie live stream. So I want to wish you all a happy new year, a happy boogie woogie new year. I'm just holding the camera here. I hope you can hear me. Everyone's out at the moment. And here in London, it's a little bit of a dull and a damp day. So I do hope you're all going to celebrate New Year's Eve in style. Now, I don't actually have a television, but I do believe that Jools Holland is doing the Hootenanny. Somebody can correct me. When I did have a television, I always used to watch Jools Holland's Hootenanny on television. So if you're in the UK, I do hope you're going to tune in. I assume it's on tonight. It's the only thing worthwhile. So anyway, how's this coming across? Can you actually hear me? Live and clear? I'm here sitting on the penthouse suite, just having a little chat into the iPhone, experimenting with the live stream. Again, so apologies, I've got my hand here, I'm sort of covering the lens. I'm still getting used to the iPhone, trying to get it right. So let me see, I can't really see the questions here. So has anyone got any questions, or does anybody want me to answer anything? I can't actually, my sunglasses have got prescription lenses. I can't actually read the comments, so it's a bit of a laugh. So anyway, the good thing about these live streams is that if it's a load of rubbish, I can always delete it. So I do hope you're having a happy boogie woogie new year. Apologies for these random live streams. I just got the phone and I thought I'll see if I can kind of get it to work myself. Now where I am in London is it's a pretty dull day. Let me show you outside. I'm here in the penthouse. I'll just show you outside. I don't know if you can see this. I'm kind of, see if I can turn the camera around. Let me just see if I can switch it around. Here we go. Let me just see. There you go. You can have a look out here at the weather. I'll just open there. So you can see in London, it's a bit of a dull day. Bit of a dull day. So let me just read I can see a few questions there. Why not take the specs off? Good question. Can we have more of Camera Girl with sexy voice? Hello, Argentina. Okay, so I can read your comments now. Very good reception, very good. How comes you don't have a TV? Okay, that's a good question. Nice garden. You like mowing grass. Well, thanks, Stanley. We actually have a couple of gardeners. No, we don't. I don't actually mow the lawn. Greetings from Devon. Hey, up. Why the sunglasses? Well, because they're prescription lenses. When you come into Los Angeles, hello from Belgium. Do you know Boogie Woogie? OMG, it's Gree. Okay, Lisa. How long you been doing Boogie Woogie? Quality and sound is good. Happy New Year. You look like the piano player from Bad Manners. You are poor. I'm a musician too. Okay. So let me just see if I can switch this round again and I'll answer a couple of the questions there. Let me just have a look. Can you come to Canada? Perfect quality from Norway. When are you coming to America to film? Sorry, you've got a picture here of the back garden, so I can just actually see the comments a bit easier here. Should I start learning Woogie Boogie if I'm a beginner? You're going to answer any of these. Come to Norway. Okay, let me answer some of these questions. Is it cold outside? No, let me just turn it round again. So apologies for that. I am going to answer your questions. You have to forgive me. I'm getting used to this smartphone and I'm just trying to use it. So I'll sit down and answer some of those questions if I can remember them. So Let me just sit down here. So the first question is, often it says, when did you start playing boogie woogie and when did you start playing piano? So I started playing piano when I was about 4 years of age. You know, when you're a child, your parents bring you into a toy shop and they kind of, you know, put you in the toy section and to see what you go towards. And I always used to naturally go towards, you know, those toy pianos. Now, back in those days, they weren't even electronic. They were just like plinky plonk pianos for like 2 or 3 year olds. You know, you just press a note. And I always used to gravitate towards the sort of pianos in the toy shops. And that's how it all started when I was about 3 or 4. I just naturally would gravitate towards the pianos. It wasn't a question of, you know, my parents forcing me to have piano lessons. And I know that's actually quite a common theme with people, with parents. They want their children to play and they force them to play an instrument. My parents never did that. I kind of naturally gravitated towards the piano. And so I would always want toy pianos. And that's really how it started, you know, so it was a kind of inherent desire on my part to want to play instruments. So I started off with toy pianos, then I got a little toy organ, only a couple of octaves. Then my dad, who was a builder, he's dead now, God rest him, but he got me he used to work on building sites, and there was a piano, like there was an old piano there that was sort of thrown out, and we used to live on the top floor of somewhere, and he got the piano for free and brought it home when I was about 6. It was a free piano, and so that's when it all started, really. So it was just a natural form of progression, really, from me going into toy shops to dad getting a piano, a free piano, and then I started having piano lessons. So that's how it all started. But I didn't start playing boogie woogie until I was about 17, when I started playing in bands around London. And I was introduced to boogie woogie. There was a band that was actually looking for an accordion player playing Cajun music, and their ex-keyboard player used to be a great boogie woogie player. His name was Hammy Howell. He's dead now. He played with a band called Darts, D-A-R-T-S, and I was introduced to Hammy. He had a nervous breakdown, and he was actually working as a cleaner in London. He was overweight, he was in a bit of a state. But he actually came out to my place where we used to live, and he gave me my first couple of boogie woogie lessons. He taught me Hammy's boogie, and so that's really how I learned boogie woogie. I also took classical piano lessons. My hand's getting a bit tired holding this phone. I also took classical piano lessons. I did all my grades. I did my grade 8 piano, and I did my grade 8 theory. So I would always encourage people to actually learn how to write music. Oh, the comments have gone off now. I hope I haven't pressed the wrong button. So I hope that answers your question. I hope I haven't rambled on too much. I'm just having a chat here as if you're talking to me. So that's really how I started. But I didn't start playing boogie woogie till I was 17. And that was through Hammy Howell. I only had 3 piano lessons with him, and I taught the rest myself. So that's how I started boogie woogie. A lot of people have been said, you know, how do I learn boogie woogie? Is it too late to start? You know that we've got a whole load of boogie woogie tutorials on this channel. That this YouTube channel started off as a tutorial channel. And I know we've kind of got into public piano videos, but there are a whole load of free tutorials on this channel. I mean, if you just type into YouTube how to play boogie woogie piano, you're going to find a whole load of free tutorials. And of course, if you can read sheet music, we have the Badass Boogie bundles, which are the sheet music transcriptions. So really everything you need to start boogie woogie is actually on this YouTube channel, and the website, which we'll be updating in the new year, has the sheet music. So I hope that's answered your questions as to when I started playing boogie woogie piano. But I can read music. I did do all my grades. I did do grade 8 piano and grade 8 theory. Let me just have a drink of water. So I do hope that's answered your questions. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the garden in a minute, and when I show you the garden I can actually read your questions. At the moment I can't really see what's coming up, so I'm just having a little Q&A session here. So let me just turn around the camera. Again, I'm still, apologies for the rather clumsy use of this, because I'm here on my own. Everyone's gone out, so I've got the house to myself. So I'm just experimenting with this live stream. So I hope you're not going to get bored by me rambling on too much. Let me just, I'm still learning this, how to turn around the camera. So do you have any questions? Let me if I turn this round now, if you asks me some questions now, I can actually read it. Bill Hershey, you are fantastic, sir. Thank you. Shout out, Liam Ockers. Have you met famous people? Which phone do you use? An iPhone 11. When in Paris? Start playing Boogie Woogie for 2 years. I've noticed some of the public pianos are quite broken. Have you ever met famous people? Jester, I have a question. Okay, come play in Hull from Steve Thompson. Happy New Year and good blues. Mats Roland, drinking Boogie Woogie fuel. You know that advice work for piano life balance. Good question. How do I subscribe to the Badass Boogie bundles? What is your job? What is your job? The ukulele lude wants to know what you do for a living. Well, I thought that was quite obvious. I kind of do Boogie Woogie. Microphone sounds good today. That's because I'm right near the camera. Guitar beats piano every time, Jessica. Well, what are you doing on this channel then? What are your plans for 2020? Okay, that's a good question. I want to know why you have no TV. Basically, because it's rubbish. Bill Hershey. Hi, Bill. How are you doing? Where in London is this? Well, obviously, I'm not going to tell you where I live. No offense. Why do you play Boogie Woogie? What's in the grass? Are you in bad manners? No, I'm not in bad manners. How much money do you have? I have loads of it. Do you have an Instagram account? No. Are you a Mormon? No. Do you compose your own music? Yes. Do you have an album? No, I don't, but I will do. My question is, could you teach me piano? No. Ask Terry Miles. Your piano makes me happy. Thank you. You play other instruments? Yes, I play piano accordion. I boogie woogie on my trumpet. Good. Kind regards to camera person. Good. Hello. How do you play with no room for a piano? I don't understand that. Are you the UPS piano guy? Steve. Well, if you don't know that, I'm not sure what you're doing here. How did you meet Terry? That's a good question. Accordion with Terry. Are you single? Hello from Boston. Ever met Jules Holland? No, I haven't. Future videos with Big John? Perhaps. Will you release an album? Yes. Ask a private boogie. I can pay £100. Do you have a girl? I am pregnant. Did you end the music school? Have you ever been in Holland? Did you end the music? What's your favourite? I hate football. Sorry, that's put a stop to the question. Which pub? Yeah, where do you have a girl? Why is there a palm tree in your guy? It's global warming, honestly. Let me see if I can do a close-up. Can you do a close-up here? So can you see that? There's a palm tree down there. And can you see that spot there in the garden? That used to be a tree, but it died in the drought. So there's a big sort of spot there. Is it true that you play with the Pet Shop Boys? Are you secretly an alien? You should answer our questions. Okay, well, let me find one question then. You should change it. Right, I'm waiting for a question to come up. Can you do your own laces? Yes. What's your cat's name? Whitey. Amazing energy. Please do some challenge. I'm waiting for a question. Can somebody ask me a question? And then I get a couple of questions. Okay. Do you get okay? Okay. I'll turn around the camera. Do you have perfect pitch? Let me just turn around the camera. Hold on. Let me just see if that's turning it around. Let me just see if this is working. Okay, there we go. Apologies for that. I'm still learning how to use this iPhone. It's the latest. Somebody said it's the latest iPhone. So let me answer a few of your questions. Apologies because I've never done this kind of live stream before with the comments come up really, really quickly. And what happens is that you get about 20 questions in a second, and then people get really upset if you don't answer their question. Why aren't you answering us? So first of all, let me talk about I don't have perfect pitch. I just have a very good ear for music. You know, if I hear a tune, I can often play it back without much trouble. And from meeting a lot of the musicians on the street piano, some of whom are brilliant classical players, they can't do that. You know, a lot of brilliant musicians who I've met can't improvise. And every musician has their strong point and their weak point. And with a lot of classical musicians, they find it very, very difficult to improvise. And that's what I'm quite good at. That's what I'm good at. I'm good at improvising and kind of hearing a tune and making up other melodies. So it's just a gift that I have. Thanks be to God for that. I can just hear a tune and kind of play it back. And I just have a very good ear for music. But I don't have perfect pitch, no. So plans for the new year. Somebody said, what are your plans for the new year? One of the plans we've got for this channel is I'm definitely going to get the merchandise sorted out, because so many people have been asking for like t-shirts and stuff, you know, don't bash the piano t-shirts. And I was thinking of getting some hoodies done with the Cult of Boogie Woogie written on, you know, like these kind of hoodies. I was going to get some black hoodies with Cult of Boogie Woogie written on it. So I'm thinking of doing that in the new year and getting some mugs and stuff like that, and perhaps even some sunglasses made. So I will sort out my merchandise in the new year. I am going to do some more tutorials in the new year, because I do actually love teaching. I love teaching piano. I love teaching people how to play boogie woogie. And as I said, this channel started off as a tutorial channel, but the public piano videos have kind of, you know, taken on a life of their own. So I will do some tutorials in the new year. I'm also thinking of starting up a Patreon page. Do you know those Patreon pages? Do you know what I'm talking? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? And, you know, I was going to offer one live stream a week, some sheet music downloads, and various other kind of free things for people who support through Patreon. So I'm going to start a Patreon or a Patreon. I'm not sure how you say it, a Patreon or Patreon page. So I'm thinking of doing that and giving some really cool offers for people who, you know, would subscribe for $3 a month or something. So I'm thinking of doing that as well, give some extra benefits, because I'm kind of getting into the live streaming thing, as you can see. So I hope that's some of your questions. What other instrument do you play? I play the piano accordion. That's the only other instrument I play. People think that the piano accordion is the same as the piano. It's actually a totally different instrument, particularly with the left hand. So I play the piano and the piano accordion. I didn't go to music school. I didn't go to music college. I did study with a concert pianist when I was about 21 on a freelance basis. A brilliant concert pianist who was a professor of piano at the Guildhall School of Music in London, and she gave piano lessons in North London, and I stayed with her for about a year. I got at one point very much into classical music, you know, before I kind of sort of got into boogie and stuff. I got very interested in classical music, but I did find it quite difficult to play music without room for improvisation. The problem is, if you learn Beethoven's Waldstein Sonata, or if you learn the Moonlight Sonata, you know, it doesn't sound great if you improvise. I know that a lot of the early classical composers could improvise brilliantly, but I found it difficult not to be able to improvise my own way. So I do find classical music sometimes a little bit constraining. But I did take piano lessons, I can read music, and I did do my grade 8 piano and grade 8 theory of music, so I can actually read the dots, even though I sometimes pretend not to. So I hope that's answered some of your questions. Let me have a look. So I'm going to give you a look at the garden again, because I find that if I turn you around and look at your questions, I can actually read it properly. So just let me bear. I don't know if there's anyone still there. Again, I'm here in London. The house is empty. Everyone's gone out. So I thought I'd just get up to the penthouse here and see if I could answer some of your questions. So now is a chance. Let me just turn you round. You can have a look at the garden. Let me see if this turns around here. Hopefully, yeah, there you go. So let me just open the window so you can have a look out there at the palm tree. So let me see. Anyone? Do you like living in London? Yes. Do you play boogie on the harmonica? No. Where is Middle C? Do you love science? No. Do you make all your money off YouTube? No. Do you like living in London? Yes. Where did you receive your PhD? Oh, that's a good question. In University College Cork. Do you like Hans Zimmer? Yes. Thoughts about Britain's Got Talent with Terry? Okay, that's a really good question about Britain's Got Talent. Let me just turn the camera around, because I actually think that's a good question. Let me just turn you around again. When I get a good question, I kind of... I'm sorry, I know this is a bit of an unorthodox way of doing Q&As, but some of the questions are very good and some of them are a bit silly. So these are the good questions. About Britain's Got Talent, somebody said, have I thought about doing Britain's Got Talent with Terry and Olivier and stuff like that? Well, let me tell you about that. Do any of you know that video I did about a week ago in St. Pancras with Rick? You know, the guy who channels Rachmaninoff. He's 76. He's got white hair. It's the main video on the channel at the moment. His name is Rick. He's Dutch. And Rick, do you know the video I'm talking about? It's called Piano Fight Breaks Out in the Mall. And Rick is 76, and he was on Britain's Got Talent about 3 or 4 years ago. And you can actually look at that clip, and I encourage you to do that. So type in Rick BGT, and you know they made a bit of a fool out of him. You know, I mean, Rick didn't mind, but I felt that he wasn't treated very well on Britain's Got Talent, and they don't really treat people that well. To be honest, they're there for views. And even American Idol, get this, right? I want you to listen. Are you all listening to this, right? Because you might not, because people always say, oh, why don't you go on Britain's Got Talent or American? Right, listen to this. You know, let me give you one example of why these talent shows are not a good idea. I'll tell you one fact that you might know. Are you all listening? Okay. Right, you know, for example, the prize for American Idol is $1 million, right? Do you understand that? Right. Well, do you know that it's not $1 million straight away? It's $1 million over, I think it's over 25 years. Yeah, so the $1 million is spread over 25 years. That's about 20 grand a year or something. And that they have total control over everything that you do. Also in the contract, it says that they are allowed to embarrass you, make a fool out of you. And you have to do, basically, it's an awful contract. The £1 million is spread over 25 years. And basically, they say that they're entitled to make an idiot of you if they want. So when you say go on Britain's Got Talent or go on American Idol, if you look at the contracts that they give you, it's absolute rubbish. And when you look at Rick, when Rick was on Britain's Got Talent, I think they made a fool out of him. I don't like the way they treated him at all. David Walliams, you know, that comedian guy, he was making a real fool of Rick, and Rick's a genius. And so I wouldn't go on there because I don't like the way they treated artists. They treat artists and musicians, you know. So I don't know if does that make sense? It sounds good. It's one talent shows. It's one of these things. It sounds great. Oh, go on Britain's Got Talent. But when you actually read the fine print and when you actually find out what you get if you win, it's not really that great. I mean, I'd rather do YouTube, do my own thing, create my own Britain's Got Talent. I mean, I've seen more talent on the street pianos in London than you'll find on Britain's Got Talent. I don't like the way that artists are exploited for fun, right? I don't like the way that they sometimes make an idiot out of you. They try and make you look foolish. And a classic example is of Rick. Type in that to YouTube, Rick BGT, and have a look at how David Walliams made a bit of a fool of Rick. Now, Rick said he didn't mind, but I kind of minded. So that's why I wouldn't go on Britain's Got Talent or American Idol. Because even the money that you win is spread over 25 years, if you last that long. So that's why I wouldn't go on Britain's Got Talent, even though it might seem a good idea. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I thought it was a good question, but it's a question that often comes up. But any musician, I would recommend any musician worth his salt not to go on Britain's Got Talent or American Idol. You don't need them, man. You don't need them. And they don't really give you a fair cut of the winnings anyway. So that was a good question. Let me just have one more. I'll do one more question and answer session. So forgive me as I turn you round to the garden because I can read your questions. When I flip around the camera, I can actually see what you say. So let me just turn you around there. So if anyone's got a question, oh, there you go. Still trying to learn how to work this. Let me just see. What did you do for a living before YouTube? That's a very good question. Williams is talentless. Well, okay. And what are you drinking? Okay. I'm going to answer. That's a really good question. Okay, I'm going to answer that question because I don't really talk about my personal life. So what did you do before you did YouTube? Right. So before I did YouTube, let me just turn around here. I'm drinking water, by the way. Let me just show you. I'm drinking Highland spring water. I like the old sparkling water. It's not vodka. So before I did YouTube, I was actually a secondary school teacher or a high school teacher. I have a degree in English literature. I did a BA, a Bachelor of Arts Honours degree in English literature at Middlesex University in London because I always loved reading. I didn't do a degree in music. I didn't want to teach music in schools because when I was going to school, and if you're a Londoner, you might appreciate this, the music lessons were seen as an absolute joke and the music teachers weren't treated very well. So when I was at school, pre-national curriculum, the music classes were a bit of a joke. They were not taken, so I did not want to be a music teacher. But I loved reading, I loved literature, I loved, I loved the arts. So I did a degree in English literature at Middlesex University, and after that, I really liked university life. I went on to do a master's degree in University College Dublin in Anglo-Irish literature because I was very much interested in Irish writers. Oscar Wilde, Brendan Beard, William Butler Yeats, Sean O'Casey. So I was very much interested in Irish literature. So I did a master's degree in Anglo-Irish literature at University College Dublin. And then I ultimately ended up doing a PhD, a Doctor of Philosophy degree in University College Cork in the Republic of Ireland, which, by the way, is a great university. I think Professor Alex Davis, a great guy, I think he's actually head of the department now. He was my supervisor. Wonderful English department in University College Cork. So I did a PhD on the poetry of William Butler Yeats, specifically the influence of Eastern mysticism on the poetry of William Butler Yeats. I did that in University College Cork. So that's why I call myself Dr. K. I mean, it doesn't sound, Dr. Brendan Kavanagh doesn't sound very rock and roll. But I am officially a doctor, but a doctor of philosophy. So I did do a PhD. It took me 4 years. I got a grant from the Irish government, which was pretty cool because at the time when I did a PhD, get this, listen to this if you're a student. The Celtic Tiger was going on. I don't know if you're Irish, you'll know what I'm talking about. At the time when I did a PhD, Ireland was swimming in money. And the Irish government were giving out money to postgraduates, and they were doing this Government of Ireland scholarship thing for like 10 grand a year or something. And I applied for it, and I got it. You wouldn't do that now. That wouldn't happen now. So I did actually get a grant for doing my PhD. It took me about 4 years. Was it 3 years, 3 or 4 years to do a PhD? And I did it at University College Cork. On the poetry of William Butler Yeats. So that's my story. So I really come from an academic background. And when I was teaching, I didn't like teaching simply because of the way the education system's being run today. I didn't like all the pointless meetings, the bureaucracy. I used to come in, know how to teach, but I was told I couldn't teach the way I wanted to teach because Ofsted wouldn't like it. And so I got a bit fed up with the way that the English education system was being run. And a lot of the really cool teachers, the great teachers, have left the profession because of the way that the education system is. And in England now, there's a real skyrocketing of homeschooling because schools are in a state of crisis. So I used to be a teacher. That's what I used to do. So I love teaching. It's part of my vocation, and so I kind of apply that to my YouTube videos, particularly the tutorials. So I hope that answers your question. So basically, a teacher. I've kind of gone on a bit, so I hope that answers your question. Let me just have a little bit more here of my Highland Spring. People think that I'm drinking vodka, right? But I'm actually having, and it's sparkling as well. So that was a good question. So I come from an academic background in English literature, and I used to be a teacher. So that's that. Okay, let me just turn you around to the garden again. I'll see if I can read any more questions. I'm here in the penthouse suite on this New Year's Eve. It's great being able to talk to me. Let me just, again, apologies for turning you around. Let me just turn you around to the garden, and I'll turn around the camera. Let's just see. There you go. So has anyone got any more questions? Hold on. Are you from London? Yes. Ever play piano in Wales? No. What's your day job before? I've just spent 20 minutes talking about that. A piano teacher? No. Does YouTube give you lots of money? Perhaps. What time is it here? It's actually 2:20 in the afternoon. Is camera person your wife? You're the man. Okay. Can you boogie woogie with one arm? I want to play piano. Right. Has anyone got any sensible questions? Any sensible questions? Because, I've seen Rick, it would have been helped if it wasn't a cat. Yes. What's your favourite food? How often do you... I don't do the gardening. We have a gardener who does... We have 2 gardeners who come in. Do your kids play? No. Where are we? Is it true that you play with the Pet Shop Boys? How many... Yeah. I'm trying to find a question I can actually have Is it worth starting YouTube? Okay, let me just answer a couple of questions. I want to talk about Ryan. Ryan seems to keep asking questions about money and YouTube, so I want to talk about that because I've got a point to make about this. So excuse me, I'm just going to sit down again. So Ryan said, do you get all your money from YouTube? Is it worth starting a YouTube channel? And many people are interested in that. So I want to talk a couple of minutes about those of you who are interested in YouTube, money, and all that kind of stuff. Is everyone listening? Okay. If you are starting YouTube for the purpose of making money, I suggest you don't do it. All right? Because you won't succeed. If that's your sole motivation, we are living in a world where everyone wants a quick buck. How can I make £1 million in 1 minute with no work, with no effort? If that's your mentality, you will never succeed on YouTube, right? The thing about YouTube is you've got to have something to offer, right? You've got to have a talent or a gift that you want to share with the world. It might be a teaching talent. It might be a singing talent. It might be, you're very good with your hands and you can make interesting inventions. I don't know what it is. You might be a comedian. You might have some ideas, but you've got to start off YouTube with the idea that you want to share. If you start off with the idea, is it worth starting YouTube so I can make lots of money? I really don't think that's the way to go, because it's not a quick fix. But YouTube is a wonderful platform for certain people. I love YouTube because you can go on there and do what you want and you can create value. But there's so many people who want a quick fix, who don't really want to give of themselves. So have something to give, and don't do it for the money. That's what I would say. I hope that answers your question. I feel you've got to go into YouTube with the right. You've got to enjoy doing it. You've got to share your gifts and talents with the world, and the money will come. But if you're just doing it solely with how can I make as much money as quickly as possible, if you start off with that attitude, then your YouTube channel probably won't be much good, because you can't hide yourself on YouTube. You might be able to hide yourself for a bit, but your true personality will eventually come out, right? So what you see is what you get with me. So have something to give and start putting up videos. When I started making YouTube videos, I didn't know what I was doing. I was still teaching in a school. I didn't particularly like the job, but we just had camera person had a really cheap camera that only would film for 2 minutes, and I didn't know what I was doing, but I put on some tutorials and they started taking off. Tutorials always do well on YouTube. Offer some free information. And you have to give before you get. Too many people want to take, but they don't want to give. You have to be a giver, So can I ask you, Ryan, particularly, change your mental attitude. Instead of thinking, is it worth it for me? What can I get out of it? What can people do for me? What can you do for people? Do you understand the mind switch? Instead of saying, what can it do for me? What can you do for it? What can you do for YouTube? What can you do for the world? So come at it with a more generous giving attitude. Share of your talents and see if it takes off. Sometimes things do better on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram. For me, YouTube hits the spot, but sometimes it could be another social platform. So experiment, but think about what you can give the world. What talent do you have, and how could you present it in an interesting way? Does that make sense? Is that a good answer? Not what I can say. Okay, so I'm just going to have another sip of water here. I'm here in the penthouse suite on New Year's Eve. The piano's downstairs, actually. Everyone's gone out, so the house is quite quiet. So let me just see who else has got a question. I thought everybody would be sort of sitting around their lunch at this stage. Let me just see. Again, apologies for this way of doing it. I just find it works. I can actually read questions. But so I'm going to turn you around again so you can face the garden. Oh, there we go. So anyone got any questions before I go? Giving your surname, are you of Irish heritage? Yes. Okay, I'm waiting for questions. What's your favourite video on the channel? Why the sunglasses? Well, they are actually prescription lenses. Have you got a glass eye? No. Where did you learn to play Irish music? Can you play any Indian tunes? No. Do you know who Danny Shine? Yeah, I like Danny Shine. Are you Danny? Are you there, Danny? I love Danny Shine. Are you there, Danny? I just thought I saw a social experimentalist there. I love Danny Shine. Big fan of Danny Shine and all that stuff. I'm still waiting for a good question to come up. Do you like Glenn Campbell? Yeah. How did you meet Terry? I'm just waiting for a good question I can get my teeth into. Have you met PewDiePie? No. Is having fans hard? Will you go vegan? Definitely not. Do you like country music? Yes. How many times do you fart a day? I don't know. Let me just see. Anything else? What's on your bucket list? Okay. Record Boogie Woogie. Okay, I'm just waiting for a couple of more questions. Still waiting for a good question to come up I can get my teeth into. Do you like hip hop? What got you into New Orleans style of piano? Okay, that was Melissa. So, okay. So I'll do my last question and answer because I saw Melissa. Hi, Melissa. You should be out there doing pianos today. Hold on. I thought I turned it off now. Still trying to get the hang of this this iPhone, you know. So let me just talk about a couple of questions. Again, I'm doing this by myself, so you have to forgive the stopping and starting. And also the great thing about live stream is if this is a load of rubbish, I can just delete it. So yeah, Melissa asked, how are you doing, Melissa? Melissa asked, how did I get into New Orleans piano? Well, I started getting into Boogie Woogie when I was 17 because I was introduced to Hammy Howell, who used to play with a band called Darts. And I didn't hear New Orleans piano until I was quite late. I think somebody mentioned Dr. John, and I listened to his music and I was just blown away. And I just love the way that New Orleans piano has a much more swinging feel to Boogie Woogie, you know. So I started listening to Dr. John and to Professor Longhair, and I just love that style of music, you know. And I know a lot of youngsters there are learning how to play Big Chief by Professor Longhair. I know, Melissa, you're learning how to play that. And I heard Nathan on piano playing it. If you don't know Big Chief by Professor Longhair, look it up. I went around St. Pancras about a month ago and I heard Melissa playing it, I heard Nathan playing it, and I played it as well. It's a great song. So listen out for Professor Longhair's Big Chief. It's a great tune, pretty much all on the black notes. So that's it. Let me just see if I can see any other questions. I'm just going to finish my my drink of water here. So is anyone going out tonight, or do you all stay in for New Year's Eve? I mean, I remember when I used to play in bands, New Year's Eve used to be really good. I used to play in Irish bands around London, and New Year's Eve was always a great time. You know, I used to always be out gigging. You'd always get loads of money for playing on a New Year's Eve. But I don't know, the pub culture now, have you noticed all the pubs are shutting down? You know, when I was growing up in London, there used to be a really strong Irish culture. There used to be loads of Irish pubs and loads of Irish gigs, and I used to play regularly around the pubs in London. And New Year's Eve, St. Patrick's Night used to be major. You used to get, you know, a nice lot of money for playing on those times. So I used to, as when I was a working musician, if you like, I used to always be playing New Year's Eve around the Irish clubs, and you'd always get quite a lot of money. But now everyone's staying in. Are you all staying in New Year's Eve, or are you going out? I'm curious. Probably you've got your friends and family around. So let me just, I think I'm going to finish up now in a minute. I've rambled on long enough. Let me just have my water. This is fizzy water, by the way. It's non-alcoholic. Again, apologies for rambling on. But again, I am experimenting with, I probably delete this live stream as well. So when these come up, I kind of delete them. If I don't think they're much good, I'm just kind of rambling on, really getting the hang of the new technology. So I want to talk about a few plans I've got for the new year. I will be reintroducing the piano tutorials because I know a lot of you are interested in Boogie Woogie. We do have tutorials up there, but they're a little bit, you know, they're 7 years old now. So we'll be doing some brand new tutorials on how to play Boogie Woogie piano. I will be starting a Patreon. I'll be updating the website, creating a new website. You know, I will be planning also to have a few more meetups, but it might be just through an inner circle or something, rather than inviting everyone. I might do it through Patreon. Those people who want to be part of an inner circle will have meetups. And because the last one was a bit crazy, I only thought about 5 people would show up. We had over 100 people. in St Pancras, so we might make the live ups sort of an inner circle thing or something. So we're going to have meetups. I'm going to start the tutorials. I'm going to get the merchandise done. I was going to get a black a black hoodie with Cult of Boogie Woogie written on it, and kind of sell those, you know. And by the way, the dark glasses, these are, people keep asking about, these are prescription lenses, all right? I don't just wear them to look cool. These are prescription lenses. I had to get them sent to Japan to get the lenses made. If you were to put on these glasses, you wouldn't be able to see through them because they're actually quite thick lenses. And also the light, you know, I just find it's easier on my eyes when I wear them. So people get caught up on the dark glasses. I'm not just wearing them because they're dark glasses. They are actually prescription lenses. So that is why I wear the dark glasses, and you know, they are there for a reason. But I think they look quite good as well. But that's just, you know, whatever. But people always say, why do you wear dark glasses? Well, because I wear glasses, you know. Let me just see if there's any more. This is my last question session here. Hold on, let me just turn you around to the hold on. Let me just see if I can work this thing here. Hold on, let me just switch around. Okay, so anyone got any more questions? This is my last round of questions before I'm going to rock on. Let me just open the door here. Any more questions? Do you teach piano at school? No, I don't. Do you like pizza? Yes. Do you like The Rise of Skywalker? I don't know. Advice for playing with both hands? Have you got? Congratulations, thank you. I'm still waiting for a question. How to play by ear? Do you like the Ramones? Something is. What is your sense of life? What does that mean? Are you a Christian? Chopin or Beethoven? These are difficult questions. I'm still waiting for a question. Type in a question I can get my teeth into. Advice on playing with both hands. Well, I need to be at the piano with that. It's a good question. Favourite film score? I like James Bond. Top song of the last decade. It's a difficult one. More accordion, please. Australian lady. I don't understand that. Dark glasses look cool, mate. Thank you, Albert. Albert Einstein. Do you still go to Canary Wharf? Yes. How long to learn? Do you play by ear? Yes, I do. Do you still go to Canary Wharf? Yes. Do you like the Irish government? I don't know anything about it. The Irish government. Favourite song to play? How many hours playing pubs in 2020? No, I don't play in pubs. Do you play by ear? Yes, of course I play by ear. If you could meet Albert Ammons, what would you ask him? What are you doing tonight, Brendan? Okay, I'm still waiting. Is self-teaching a waste of time? Absolutely not. Okay. Okay, let me... No, I wasn't in Euston yesterday, Homer. Why do you always wear night gear? Were you in... No, I wasn't. I was not in London. I was not in Euston Station yesterday. Okay, I'm still waiting for a song. Homer. What's the best song to start practicing on the piano? How often do you go to St Pancras? Come on, give me a generic question I can answer. Do you play piano every day? Do you drive? Yes, I do drive. Do you do any boogie woogie today? Can you mix classical with boogie? Yes. Do you know Cole Lamb? Yes, of course I know Cole Lamb. What's your New Year's resolution? I have several. Pizza or curry? I actually prefer curry. But, did you find middle C? I have a keyboard. How long have you been playing? Did you study classical before boogie? Yes. Does anyone take offence to your piano teaching at the train station? Oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good one. Let me just turn around the camera. Hold on. So yeah, I haven't been down St Pancras actually because my camera person's actually on holiday at the moment. I need to perhaps get 2 or 3 camera people because, excuse me, this is my last sort of round of questions. I'm just going to sit down here. I hope you're enjoying this impromptu chat. I just picked up the iPhone. I've got a new iPhone and I'm just experimenting with it. And I think the sound's a bit better because I'm actually close to it. I did a live stream a couple of days ago, but I deleted it because the sound was so bad. Because downstairs there's not much furniture in the living room and it sounds like everybody was moaning about the reverb. So let me talk to you a little bit about public piano videos. Does anyone ever get offended? Well, no, they don't. And what you do is you find what I find is interesting is playing on public pianos is a great way of developing your kind of intuition, because often you see someone at a piano and you just think, no, I'm not going to go near that person. And sometimes you see someone on the piano, they've got great energy and it's clear that it's cool to go up and see them. So you develop a little bit of a sort of intuition about people, because some people you do not approach. You know, you just get the vibe. And sometimes someone you think, oh, this person's going to be lovely. So pretty much all the piano videos are totally genuine. Obviously the one where I'm dressed up like a policeman or you know, it's not genuine, but all pretty much all the random piano videos are genuine videos. You know, people are amazed. They think have you noticed people think everything's set up on YouTube, you know, that everything is fake news. There is some fake news there, but not everything. And so most of the videos, apart from where I'm obviously dressed up like a UPS guy or a builder or a policeman, the ones where I meet people and teach them how to play are totally genuine. And they are a fine art form because, you know, if you choose the wrong person or you get it wrong, you know, it can actually not be too good. But you soon learn the kind of people you can approach. So I hope that's answered your questions. I think I'm going to sign off now. I hope you've all had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you're all looking forward to the new year. If you do see me out and about, always come up and say hello. I'm only too happy. I'm always very approachable. I'm always happy if people come up. Obviously, if you're polite, you know, sometimes you get people who are not very polite, but you know, if people come up to me and want to shake a hand, I'm always very happy to meet people. It's never a problem. So if you do see me out and about, do come up and say hello. I wish you all the best for the new year. I will be doing some new tutorials in the new year. I'll probably delete this live stream as well because I've just rambled on. I hope you have a wonderful new year, as I said, and thank you so much for your support, and continue with the support in the new year. Do spread the videos. I'm sorry I didn't play the piano today. The piano's downstairs, but I just wanted to sit on my chair here in the penthouse and just have a little chat with you, you know, like you just across from me. So I hope I haven't rambled on too long. God bless you all. Now, the problem is we always have a real issue turning off the camera. Let me just try and turn it off now. So I'm going to end the live stream now. I'll probably delete this video as well because I kind of rambled on a bit too much, but I hope I answered some of your questions. Look out for the merchandise, by the way, in the new year. I was going to get a black hoodie with Cult of Boogie Woogie written on it, which I'm going to sell. So look out for the merchandise. I might also be looking for people to model it for me as well. So that should be an interest. I might put out a shout out for some potential fans if you want to come down and model the gear, and I'll let you keep it. That might be an idea if you're around London, but I'll put up a video asking for that. If you're interested in playing the piano, it's never too late. Is it too late to play? It's never too late to start boogie woogie. It's never too late to start learning the piano. So I want to encourage you, because some people say that they are discouraged or they've given up or they used to have piano lessons when they were young. Please don't give up. Don't give up. It's never too late to start piano. It's never too late to learn boogie woogie. There's loads of free tutorials on this channel. And it is never too late to learn the piano. The best tune to start with, if you're learning boogie woogie, is Hammy's Boogie. It's a simple boogie woogie. Type in how to learn Hammy's Boogie. It's a free tutorial on the website. So start with Hammy's Boogie. Start learning the chop in your left hand. There's a load of free tutorials on the channel, so there's no excuse why you can't learn how to play. I want you to be encouraged and to have a positive attitude when it comes to learning. It's never too late. Even if you've given up the piano for years, start now. I will be putting on some free tutorials. I wish you all the best. Remember, music keeps you young, it keeps you vibrant, and it's better than playing video games and looking at the television for hours on end. So that's it. I'm going to see if I can sign off now. I wish you all the best. Let me see if it's always a comedy trying to turn off the live stream. So I'm going to see. Let me just have a little bit more of my my fizzy water. Hold on. I haven't got anyone here to help me, so I might have to get you facing the garden again. So hold on. So apologies here. Let me show you the skyline in London. Hold on, let me just turn you. This is what it looks like in London. Let me just turn you around. Let me open I'll open the balcony. There you go, so you can have a look. So it's not very. The trees are looking nice though today. Don't delete. Oh, okay. Thanks, Ram. Donut delete. Thanks for the chat. That's all right, Mark. I drink alone, it's all good. Don't delete. Okay, man. It's so beautiful, brilliant. Okay. So bear with me while I try and turn this off. All right, don't delete. All right. No, thank you, Nathan. All right, Nathan, how you doing, man? Nice to see you. Very touching. All right, delete. Secret knowledge for us only. Well, thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. It kept saying it wasn't sending. Okay. Hold on, I'm trying to turn this thing off. I'm probably here for another hour trying to turn it off. Bye-bye. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, everyone. Again, apologies that you're looking at the garden. I'm just trying to find the button to turn off the live stream. Thank you very much, Donna. Thank you very much. I do hope you... yeah, Homer's been on here quite a lot. Happy New Year, Nathan. I look forward to seeing you in the new year, Nathan, and at the next meetup. Bye-bye, everyone. A good piano? Well, you know... Okay, let me just see. Okay. Let me just turn you off now. So goodbye, everyone. I think if I press this button, it might end. Okay, thanks, Ram. I won't delete. See you, Melissa. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye, everyone. God bless you all. Okay, let's see if I can end it.